Hi Libra, welcome to your December 2021 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. Oops. Well, my ongoing saga with my camera. Oh well. Huh. I was just thinking how many swords you got. Wait, I'm going to pick an additional card, but I got to get these cards all out of the way. And your swords, because you're an air sign, so certainly is apropos for you. Okay. I think I was looking at my hand. I had moisturizer on my hand, so that's what that white was. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. The heart of the matter is the Ace of Swords. Whenever I see this card, I always think that there's something going on, that the person finally admits to themselves, or they get irrefutable evidence that something has been happening. The past position is the King of Wands. This could be a person that you're dealing with, a fire sign, somebody who's like an alpha male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And who that person is, I typically think of a spouse or something like that, but it could be a boss. It could definitely be someone like that. But what that means is that there's something that wasn't quite right that person was doing. And, or even, if it's not like a secret, if they're lying to you, it can be some kind of aspect of their personality that you kind of overlooked. Maybe other people pointed out to you, boy, he sure is bossy. He sure is controlling, and you kind of brushed it off. And finally, some event occurred that makes it so that you can't lie to yourself anymore about it. The higher nature is the Page of Swords, and this is about, to me, ultimately, this is a spy card, but I think of, like, in general, like, the moral of the story, if you will, is to be aware of what is going on, like not to stick your head in the sand hoping that something's going to magically change. They say people show you who they are, and it's up to us to know, to decide what we're going to do about it. If we're going to keep dealing with somebody who is clearly controlling, a narcissist. I always think of kings and queens as potential narcissists. If they're showing up in a way that seems kind of problematic, I think of them as kind of narcissistic. And it's up for you. It's up to you to recognize this right off the bat, so that you're not falling for someone who turns out to be not really good for you. What crosses you is the King of Swords. And the kings can also be fathers. So an example of this would be, let's say you're a woman. You could be a man too, but I'm just saying, because I'm looking at it from the male-female perspective, but it could be the male-male perspective, But anyway, let's say you're someone who had a father who was very emotionally, there was a lot of emotional deprivation from the father. And that person might have been shut off from their own emotions for various reasons, trauma, what have you. But you interpreted that as lack of love. And then that, kind of sets you on a path of looking for love in all the wrong places, as the country song goes. But also maybe being attracted to that kind of person. Although if you are with somebody who's like the King of Wands, he might be larger than life and he might be very colorful personality. So it's not necessarily going to match the personality, but the end result can be the same, where that person is very critical. But also this could be showing too that this person has wormed their way into your head somehow, that they're playing head games. And that's a form of manipulation, gaslighting, all of that kind of thing. With communication in particular, that's what the air signs specialize in, is communication. So if you know that somebody is not good for you, don't worry about what they say, because they might say things that you want to hear more than anything in the world, and yet it doesn't match up to what the reality of the relationship is. So what's the point? It's kind of pointless at a certain level to kind of hang on to the words of somebody who is most likely just doing that in order to keep you hanging on, And another thing too is, if you see that this is a pattern that stems from childhood, that you didn't get what you needed emotionally, break that pattern. Figure out a way that you can triumph over this, so that you're not at the mercy of the past, and that you don't need that sense of you don't need somebody to validate you, because that's ultimately what it's all about. What's coming in is the Ten of Swords. This is a card of betrayal, but it's also the card of the end of this cycle of that, the negative cycle. So that can be this can actually be a good thing. This can point to kind of moving up and not just continuing to sink down. And how that can relate to you on a daily basis is, you might feel this sense of putting this behind you, that yes, you need to move on from this relationship, that this person is not for you. You realize now that they're not good for you, and you're ready to let go of that. And even knowing that you were betrayed, because that person may lie. Maybe, in some cases they can be like a habitual liar. And, one of the reasons why people do go into denial is that when somebody lies, that the other person, they want to believe those lies, because if they believe the truth, then they are going to have to face the fact that the person that they're with is doing things that they don't like. And it's less painful to believe the lies. But there might come some kind of situation that makes it easy for you to put an end to it, if you feel like you've been kind of on again, off again. And I just keep getting, these cards. The outcome card is the Five of Swords. This is a card of deception too. This is also a card of other people maybe contributing to this situation in some way, especially verbally, gossiping, maybe covering for that person. But there can be, with gossiping, there's something called backbiting, where you're just trashing someone behind their back. Why do people trash other people? Even if they don't really like that person's personality, why do they do that? It's a very interesting thing to ponder, because I don't believe that if you really don't like someone that you even waste your emotions on them. I think a lot of times there's jealousy there. So if you have felt your self-esteem get lowered, Libra, because someone may have cheated on you, and maybe other people found out about the cheating, or they knew about it all along and they didn't tell you. They were kind of like in cahoots with the person who was cheating. Realize that those kinds of people, they probably envy you on some level. There's something about you that, threatens them. And so they are more than willing to aid and abet somebody who is, cheating you, because then they can feel better about themselves. So realize it's a very low vibration. It's nothing to feel like you don't have to feel embarrassed if you were the last to know about something, because really what those top cards, those top sword cards are really showing is that I think a lot of times people have the information, or they know on some level that something is happening. They just choose not to see it. So I picked an additional card, and I got the Queen of Cups. This is the card of the psychic woman, the artistic woman. What this means to me is that you're more than just your mind. You might think as a Libra person that your mind is your God, and that your thoughts are everything. Your thoughts should not be believed. Just because you think something, don't believe it, because you may make a good case for something, but it's coming from a place of past conditioning. It's not coming from a real place of, that sense of truth that is separate from the past. And the past, people's pasts are extremely misleading, because if somebody has experiences before they're old enough to choose their own experiences on a conscious level in this lifetime, then they're really a lot of times at the mercy of the adults around them. So this is about you tuning into a higher octave and obtaining information of a higher caliber than just the intellect or your instincts that are coming from the past. So that's what I have for you, and they'll lead you in a great direction, Libra. And remember that if you're somebody who had hoped to marry somebody and they turned out to be deceptive, if you want to become a mother or a parent, if you're a man, remember that you want somebody that you can trust. So that's what I have for you. I hope that you resonated with this. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care.